This is Mountain Vision. Welcome to the Blue Devils Football Coaches Show. Your home for all things Manchester High School football. With head coach Evan Huckstetler and your host, J.J. Hush.
Hello and welcome to the Manchester Football Coaches Show. I'm your host, J.J. Hush. The Manchester Blue Devils won on Friday night against Washington Wilkes, moving on to the second round of the playoffs with a final score of 41-14 victory. Coach, congratulations on the win and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So you guys, you get the win, a big win, and you actually did it in a blowout kind of fashion, really, which was a good statement to start off this playoff run.
Yeah, without a doubt, the kids are feeling good about themselves after the game. We were able to jump on Washington Wilkes fairly early. Actually, the first play of the game early, but after that, we had to stop, and it helps when the offense scores on their first two possessions, and we also had a kickoff return for a touchdown. So we jumped on them pretty early and often.
Talk a little bit about that. You said the kids felt pretty good over the weekend. What was it like coming into practice today, knowing that you guys were preparing for another round of the playoffs?
Well, they were excited. First thing in the morning, a lot of the kids were talking about Butch County and talking about the Washington Wilkes game. I talked to the team before we went down to the practice field, and basically I told our kids that they belong here. They belong in the second round, and that's a compliment to their work ethic and what they have put forth into this football season. And their hard work and dedication and their attitude to help us to this point, and they deserve to be in the second round. They're playing well. We're playing well. The kids are learning. We're getting better every day.
You know, when we start this ball game on Friday night, you know, we like to talk about the offense and defense, but I want to talk about the special teams for a little bit because it seemed like these guys were jumping out on film. You talked about how the kickoff coverage team looked so much better in the last few weeks, but they really looked like they were getting after it this week going into that ball game.
Yes, I thought overall this might have been our best special team effort to date. I know we have one PAT that did not go through, but other than that, I thought we're near perfect on special teams. The kickoff coverage was outstanding. Our kickoffs were very good. When we told him to kick it deep, he was inside the 10 and 5. He actually kicked the ball into the end zone one time, and that's very good for Stargell as a junior. So he'll be even better next year kicking off. There were times that we told him to kick it short and high. He was able to do that, but we were able to put 11 good athletes on the field, and they were getting down there, and they were getting after it pretty good.
And you were talking about the kickoff return team. Y'all have had a couple touchdowns this year, but that was a big one in this ball game in the first half with Gamble back there.
Yeah, it was really is incredibly big at the time because they just scored. I think it was 20-7. They had some momentum. Even though we had control of the game, the certain situations, certain aspects of the game that can turn really quickly if you're not careful. And they kick it to Gamble. It was a high kick. I think it was around the 10. And Gamble was able to catch it fairly clean. And he's one of those guys that he does not wait for things to happen. He may make one move or one cut, but he's putting on the jets pretty quickly. He saw the hole up the middle and just took off. He did not slow down one bit.
Yeah, he's a young guy, a freshman D. Gamble. He's only a freshman. You got him for a good amount of years to come,
Yes.
And he looks like he's going to be a good athlete for the future.
Yes, he's doing good. He's doing the right things in the classroom as well. He's a yes or no kid. He's bought into the football team.
So, Coach, special teams, they did their part in the win on Friday night, but the defense, to me, really looked like they stepped out on film and showed that they were really flying to the football, and they were playing pretty well.
Yeah, first and foremost, Coach Turner does an outstanding job with the defense. He's a teacher when it comes to coaching the defensive side of the ball. He prepares his defensive players for what they're going to see on Friday night. The practice field is his classroom, so he does a good job breaking down film of the opponent and preparing his players. Tuesday and Thursday we had two outstanding days defensively. We kind of got after it. They got after it when Coach Turner had them in the inside drill was the defensive linemen, the inside backers working on the run game, and they got after it with Coach Daughtry in the secondary when it's 7-on-7 versus Washington Wilkes offense.
It seemed like that they were doing a great job, and I think the secondary really is your guys' strong point. It seems like when people try to throw the ball, you guys get some picks, and that happened first play of the ball game. It seemed like Anthony came up and made a very nice play.
Yeah, Anthony made a really good play on that. That's one of the situations, you know, in practice we probably ran it against the first team defense 5 times during practice, and it's one of those things where Coach Turner has to playbook strip of what Washington Wilkes may do. And I think Anthony Bell had picked it off maybe 4 times in practice, and he made it number 5 of the week, the first play of the game against Washington Wilkes. He was prepared. He's been coached through the week. He was doing what he was asked to be coached to do.
Yeah, see, you know, a lot of people don't know that. You know, when they see somebody make a play on Friday night, they're like, man, you know, how did he know how to get to that place, or how did he know that was coming? Mm-hmm. It's all in the coaching. It's all in the preparation.
Yeah, the kids are buying into it as well. You know, it's one of the things we can only show them so much. They have to put forth the effort in the practice, and they're doing a good job. I think this football team is a lot more focused throughout the week than they have been earlier in the year. I think they realize how important it is to show up for work during practice. We got to put forth the work on Tuesday and Wednesday, and in order to have success on Friday.
And you guys, I think all year long that you guys, your defense is really kind of gave your offense a lift when they get turnovers. And it seems like the turnover margin has been on your guys' side the whole entire year.
It has. You know, ever since about week 5, the turnover margin has been a plus in our factor. You know, anytime you turn over when you get a turnover on the defensive side of the ball, most of the time it sets your offense up in a good field position. You have a short field, and most of the time it's easier to score when you got a short field. And, you know, it's better to work. As a coordinator, you're able to take more shots down the field if you get the turnover. I know a lot of guys like to throw it the first play off a turnover, so it's one of those things. It puts the offense in a good situation, and it takes momentum away from the other team.
You know, we talk a little bit about the individual players on the defense side of the ball, of course, Anthony, and we talk about Kadarius Brown as well in the middle. But talk a little bit about DeMarcus, you know, wide receiver playing on the defensive side of the ball. You know, usually you have those defensive backs. They usually are not known for making the interception or catching the ball and having good hands, but he does, and he makes a good play.
Yeah, you know, Coach Dodger's done a good job with him in secondary. I think he's very comfortable in what we're doing coverage-wise in secondary. And a lot of times Friday night we left him one-on-one by himself. You know, they were giving us a lot of trips, one and twins, and he did an outstanding job in pass coverages. I know the week before, I think he got beat one time on the slant route, but this past week, he did not get beat on the slant. And he was there when they were trying to stretch the field vertically. He was, his interception came off one of the situations where we were playing quarters on that throughout the field, and he had his quarter back in to cover, and he was there to make the play. I think it was a miscommunication between the quarterback and receiver, but Preacher made the play. It might have been an easy play to make, but he was there doing his job and made the play. And I tell you what, he's also a more physical defensive player than he was earlier in the year. He comes up and makes tackles. He made a tackle on the screen route one time where he was backside by himself, and Washington Wilkes actually did a pretty good job with the blocking. It's a very good play on their part, play call actually. And Preacher was the only one, and he made the tackle. If he don't make that tackle, they may score and go and make it a 14-7 ball game instead of getting the ball back and going up 20-0.
We'll be back with more with Coach Hochstetler on the Manchester Football Coaches Show.
Manchester Farm, Garden, and Hardware is your fall headquarters. Carhartt Clothing, the right gear for any job in comfort. Available for men, women, and children. Fall flowers and cool weather vegetables, along with an array of home decor for fall and the upcoming holiday season. Fall also means hunting season, rifles, handguns, and more to make sure you're ready to bring down the big one. Don't forget the great selection of Georgia boots. It's all at Manchester Farm, Garden, and Hardware.
Here at Sun Fashions, we have a variety of all your needs, from half wigs to whole wigs, from lace front wigs to ponytails. We also carry your beauty supply needs. We have your latest fashion in jewelry, handbags, clothes, and shoes. So whenever you're in town and you want to shop around, make it your passion to come to Sun Fashion.
Time for a new mattress? Wilson's Fine Furniture in Manchester has a great selection. From twin size to king size, Wilson's has it. In fact, Wilson's Fine Furniture is your hometown mattress outlet with name brands like Sealy, Simmons, Serta, and more, all at competitive prices. Wilson's also carries a full line of living room sets from Ashley Furniture. Save big now with 30% off all in-stock living room sets. Pay cash and save even more. And don't forget appliances, your hometown mattress outlet. Wilson's Fine Furniture, Main Street in Manchester.
Welcome back to the Manchester Football Coaches Show. So, Coach, overall, it seemed like the defense really, they didn't have a lot of mistakes. The points that they scored was on your younger guys, your JV guys, but it seemed like that as a whole, they played one of their best games of the year.
They did. It's as a unit, all 11, they did an outstanding job. And, watching film, I was able this weekend, the first time I was watching as a fan, and just sitting back and just watching the kids have fun really jump out on the screen. To me, they're flying around, attacking the ball. We teach alignment and assignment. We got to get a line first, then we got to do our assignment. And we did not have any miscommunications as far as the alignment. We were there where we were supposed to do, and for the most part throughout the night, we did our assignments well too. And again, they're getting more comfortable in the system, so they're running around quicker. They're playing faster because they understand Coach Turner's system and what he's trying to do defensively.
And when the defense, as they play good as a whole, they get those turnovers, it sets up the offense, and that's what we're going to go to now. And when they get those opportunities, it seems like if you take advantage of those and make it throughout the ball game, you have a good, successful night, and they did a good job of taking care of those opportunities.
Yes, offensively, for the first quarter, we were had a short field position as far as I say short, but good field position offensively, and we came out and ran our base stuff. And anytime you can score 41 points against a playoff team running your base offense, I think you had a very successful night. We were able to run north and south against Washington Wilkes. We were able to get outside with the jet game, and we were able to stretch the field vertically in the passing game as well.
Anthony Bell, the senior fullback you guys got, he had a great game. I think he had 3 touchdowns and over 100 yards. He's definitely one of those guys that took advantage of the holes in the middle in the ISO game.
Yes, he did a good job, and he's getting comfortable in our system. I know I've been saying that for the last 5 weeks or so, but he's very comfortable in his tracks, his ISO track, a fullback trap, and a down track. And I know one time he ran fullback trap and he gained it for about 30 yards. The blocking was good, and he did his job. We teach up the midline on that. He got on the midline and got inside the guard's trap block, and he's doing an outstanding job as well. He's here lately. When he's being tackled, he's falling forward, and that means he's becoming a stronger runner as the season goes along. So he's only getting better.
And you guys got a big crew of backs. You talk about, I think before in the pregame, or the pre-show, you're talking about how he's mentoring the younger guys, kind of a vocal leader on that team. And it seems like the guys underneath him are really taking that and running with it.
Yeah, he's leading by example with his body. He's also, the last couple of weeks, he's been a vocal leader in the locker room and on the practice field. And that's one thing we were lacking early on. I think with the coaching change and learning the new system, I think the guys were kind of timid and shy of what they could and could not say to other players. But he's been very vocal. The kids follow him because he is doing the right things on the field, on the practice field, and other aspects of the football program. So the kids see that, and they like to follow good leaders.
And when he's got a guy following him that's his brother, his own family member, is Ashton Bell. And he seems like he's one of those guys that he's a big play kind of guy. He's not really a guy that's going to be pounding it, but he'll break it out and use his speed to get to the second level.
Yeah, he does not weigh that much, but you're right. He's not too much of a north-south runner. But we do rely on him to run the counter game, and he do get inside the kick-out block and run downhill inside and run the butt sweep with him, which is a physical play on the edge. And he did a good job Friday night running both the counter and the butt sweep. He also was able to get outside on the jet game as well. So he was outstanding in all phases of the game, and that's a compliment to him and a compliment to the blocking. But overall, I throw it out there. All 3 halfbacks have really big nights. Big Gamble, Trey Gamble, Little Bell, and Trey Magruder had an outstanding night, and that was their best night blocking overall in our wing T system. This is game 11, game 12 is coming up, and we finally had a night where our halfbacks, if grade-wise, they're probably 90 plus. I know there's 2 times we didn't block well, but other than that, they did an outstanding job blocking. I will have to go back a couple of years as offensive coordinator at Bowden and find a better night from a halfback position that I've been coaching, but they were blocking the jet game very well. Gamble did a good job blocking the butt sweep as well as Bell. They did a good job there Thake on the Jets when we run the counter game and the ISO game, and both backs did a good job blocking on the ISO. I know Little Bell is about 160 pounds, if he's that, it may be 155, but on ISO we asked him to insert and beak out, and that's in between Stargell and Jimmy Lee. Our tackle weighs about 300 pounds, and Jimmy Lee's over 200 pounds, so this little halfback that is 155 pounds inserts in the beak out, and he's got a block. We tell him the first opposite color that shows, but 9 out of 10 times it's going to be that middle linebacker that's coming downhill at him. And most people that know football, that the inside backers are bigger than the outside linebacker. So you're looking at blocking somebody at the high school level that's going to be 200 pounds or 220 coming downhill at you. And he has about 50 pounds of weight on top of you. He's coming hard as he can to stop the ISO. And Little Bell did an outstanding job at that. You know, we teach put your face mask in a belt buckle. And he was low. I tell the kids before the game, in the locker room, lowest man wins. And on front 7 side, offense and defense, and Little Bell did a good job on ISO. He attacked that linebacker. He didn't do it one time, he did it about 4 or 5 times. He won the battle on ISO.
Yeah, the young guys really do seem like they're buying in and stepping up, and one of them is Trey Magruder. You said, you talked about him as running back, but he caught a pass that was really crucial in that ball game and kept the drive going.
Yeah, Trey's doing an outstanding job. He did not get as much carries as Gamble and Bell at the halfback position, just because Little Bell and Gamble are doing an outstanding job at halfback, but Trey's not far behind either one of them. He's a little bit more comfortable in the passing game than Gamble and Bell, and he's able to run routes, and he's a little bit sneakier as far as getting out there in the routes. And earlier in the game, it's actually the first play of the third series. We're up 14-0, and we ran a pass play action to Trey's side, and he faked blocking jet and gets ran up the sidelines, and he was open, and Garrett overthrew him maybe 2-3 yards, and we didn't connect. And one of those plays where we were successful in the play, but we didn't complete the play. So it's one of those times I put the play in my back pocket, and we came out in the third quarter. It's actually 3rd and 14. We're inside our 20. We need a first down. I don't like punting inside the 20, and we ran the same play. Trey ran an outstanding route. Garrett did a great job on the play action. The blocking was outstanding. Garrett made a good read on the safety and threw the Trey Magruder. It was one of the bigger plays of the game.
Yeah. And Garrett, it was a testament to him in that ball game because, like you said, he did miss a couple of those throws early. They wasn't by much, but just enough to frustrate him a little bit. But then he comes back and makes a good throw like that. Shows a little bit about his character.
Yeah, I think he was 1 for 5 in the first half. And one of those things where if you're looking at the stat sheet, it does not jump out at you as him having a good game. I think overall it was 2 for 6, if I'm not mistaken. But I thought he played an outstanding game. The pass I just talked about, the first down play, we were up 14-0. He overthrew Magruder maybe 2 or 3 yards. He made it, people just see in the stands where he didn't complete the pass, but he still has to make the right read, which he did. He just didn't connect, and it's something as a junior or senior he'll hit that route 9 out of 10 times. And then later in the first half, we threw the screen pass, and honestly, we did an outstanding job on the screen pass. The tackle and guard blocked one without us, and then they released downfield. The tackle went to the cornerback and made the block, and Bell did the play action. He went and attacked the defensive end, let the defensive end go, and Bell turned around for the screen. We had it wide open. If we complete that pass, we scored, and that's 2 passes I just talked about that if we complete them, Garrett goes in halftime. He's 2 for 3, 2 for 4 with 2 touchdowns and almost 100 yards. The screen pass, Garrett kind of threw it behind him, but it's one of the things I teach. We don't need to make point A and point B too long. And Garrett was kind of moving away, and Bell was moving away, and we just kind of threw it behind. But if we complete that, he scores. But, a game of inches, a game of feet, and we're just off just a little bit in the first half. But I can't say enough. That 3rd and 14 was a big play from a quarterback. He made an outstanding throw, and it was a good play.
Yeah. The offense as a whole seems like they're finally they're moving together and gelling well, and that was one of the most complete nights you guys had on the offensive side of the ball, from the offensive line all the way back to the back.
Yeah, we did a very good job against a very physical and big defense. They're very athletic as well. I thought we left about 14 points on the board in the first half. I wish I would have got back, but it's one of those things you can't have everything sometimes. But I thought offensive line did a good job coming off the ball. They're getting better. Our 2 guards are playing really well. That's Jimmy Lee and Owens. Unfortunately, they're seniors, but they're playing very well right now. I wish I could have coached them 2 or 3 years. They would be outstanding wing T guards, but they're getting better each game, and the testimony to what they're trying to do as the seniors and trying to finish strong. Our center, Danny Marshall, is a junior. He did a good job. Me and him talked actually in between classes today. He was worried that he didn't have a good game. I told him that he did play a good game. There's maybe 2 plays I thought he might have got beat on, and he remembered exactly what 2 plays I was talking about, and that shows you the kids are thinking about doing their job. They're thinking about what they did right and what they did wrong, and so the line's getting better each game.
We'll be back with more with Coach Hochstetler on the Manchester Football Coaches Show.
Time for a new mattress? Wilson's Fine Furniture in Manchester has a great selection. From twin size to king size, Wilson's has it. In fact, Wilson's Fine Furniture is your hometown mattress outlet with name brands like Sealy, Simmons, Serta, and more, all at competitive prices. Wilson's also carries a full line of living room sets from Ashley Furniture. Save big now with 30% off all in-stock living room sets. Pay cash and save even more. And don't forget appliances, your hometown mattress outlet. Wilson's Fine Furniture, Main Street in Manchester.
Here at Sun Fashions, we have a variety of all your needs, from half wigs to whole wigs, from lace front wigs to ponytails. We also carry your beauty supply needs. We have your latest fashion in jewelry, handbags, clothes, and shoes. So whenever you're in town and you want to shop around, make it your passion to come to Sun Fashion.
Manchester Farm, Garden, and Hardware is your fall headquarters. Carhartt Clothing, the right gear for any job in comfort. Available for men, women, and children. Fall flowers and cool weather vegetables, along with an array of home decor for fall and the upcoming holiday season. Fall also means hunting season, rifles, handguns, and more to make sure you're ready to bring down the big one. Don't forget the great selection of Georgia boots. It's all at Manchester Farm, Garden, and Hardware.
Welcome back to the Manchester Football Coaches Show. So, Coach, you get ready for your second round game against this week, and it doesn't get any easier because you guys travel to play the number 1 seed Brooks County Trojans.
And one of the things that jumps out at me when I was watching film this weekend is they got some really good-looking bodies. They're an old team. They're a veteran team. The last 2 years they've been in the semifinals, and that's a testimony to their program, what they're trying to do. Last year they're actually young. They beat Hurt County in the quarterfinals to make it to the semifinals. So last year they were young. This year they're old. Again, they got 19 seniors, and they do an outstanding job with that program.
These guys, they can get after it. They're linebackers. They fly to the ball, and they feel like they're just incredible athletes.
Yeah, they're linebackers. They're all around 6 feet, maybe a little bit more. I know 3 of them are listed over 200 pounds. The other one's at 195. So basically, you just put his helmet on, the shoulder pads. He's 200 pounds, and they do a good job. They're very athletic. They attack the football and they hit you. But on the flip side of that, just watching their defense and watching their offense, they're very well coached. Coach Freeman does a good job. It's one of those situations where, in years past you could play a team and say, man, I wish I coached there. They got so many athletes. We'll win 100 games and win championships after championships. But it's not that easily said. I mean, not that easily done.
And their offense, man, they have some athletes on that side of the ball too. They're one of those teams that spread it, but they're not one-sided. They're a very good team on both sides, throwing the ball and running the ball. And they got an athlete that can get it to them with DeMonte Jones.
Yes, they're about 52% and 48% run and pass ratio, and they do spread you out. They give you 2 and 2 with the Twins and trips to one side and one receiver to the other side. But their QB is an outstanding athlete and an outstanding quarterback as well. He can make all the throws that a high school kid needs to make. They run the bubble screens, they run the hitches, they run the hot route if there's a blitz, and they also do the high-low stuff, which is a hard route for a high school quarterback to throw because you got the safety and you run the low route and run the high on top of them. Not only you got to read the safety, but that's low's tough to throw because you got the linebackers right there. You got to throw over the linebackers in front of the safety to complete that. And the high sometimes hard to throw because it is a 40, 45, 50-yard pass sometimes. And he can make both throws. And he also beats you with his running ability as well. I think one game he threw for 5 touchdown passes. And the next Friday he ran for 4. So that's incredible. One night you're doing this, another night you're doing this. They do the zone scheme with him where the running back comes across and QB reads the backside end. They do the G-power scheme where the back comes across and the guard pulls and the quarterback either hands off to the halfback or he takes it himself. And he's one of those guys. He's 6'4". I have not yet seen him be tackled on film where he's falling backwards. He's always falling forward. He runs through bad tackles, and most quarterbacks do not run through bad tackles. Sometimes you hit a quarterback, he's going down, but he will run through a bad tackle in a heartbeat.
Talk a little bit about the challenges of going on your first road game for a playoff game. I know that you guys, just got done with your home game, and playoff games and road games are just natural. But going almost down to Florida and getting ready for a special game like that, and it's the second round of the playoffs, it's got to be challenging.
Yeah, no, I think it's a 3.5-hour drive to Quitman, Georgia. When we met Sunday, we spent about 45 minutes talking about the trip before we did anything else, and we kind of map it out as a coaching staff, what we wanted to do, what we did not want to do. So we have to be very careful. We do not need to make it a field trip. I told the kids today, if you think this is a field trip, this is not the field house for you to be in. We got to take it as a business approach.
So there's a lot of planning that goes into it, but it's needed. It's got to be there. If you guys are not prepared, you're not in the mindset you need to be in, it's going to be a tough night.
Yes, if you take them off the routine, teenagers usually they don't play well. We try to keep it as close as routine as we can. Obviously, a big playoff game and driving 3.5 hours take you off the routine. But I think time-wise, as a coaching staff, we did a good job game planning for this.
What's the keys to winning this ball game Friday night?
Well, I told the kids today in the locker room, I thought with the spread and their offensive system, our defensive ends got to play very well. They are the force defender in the run game, but at the same time, they have to help us out and getting to the quarterback. It's just one of those take and give situations. They got to play their technique first, then get to the ball. If they're just trying to get to the ball, they can burn you with the running game. So we have to play technique first, then get to the ball. We always teach the alignment and assignment. They have to do their assignment before they're making the plays. And offensively, I told our kids today that our halfback position got to get better from what we did at Washington Wilkes, even though it's one of the best blocking games we had all year long. But Butch County brings another challenge to the table, and they're better than Washington Wilkes. So I think if our halfbacks can accept the challenge and win the challenge, I think we can move the ball successfully against Butch County.
7:30 Friday night in Brooks County, Georgia. Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
That's going to wrap up this edition of the Manchester Football Coaches Show. Make sure you tune in for playoff action this Friday night on WFDR 1370.
Thank you for watching the Blue Devils Football Coaches Show. Brought to you by Manchester Farm, Garden, and Hardware and JT Signs. Join Coach Huck Stetler and your host JJ Hush next week as they continue to review and preview all the Blue Devils football games right here on Mountain Vision. This is Mountain Vision.